Mr. Vaid,
most welcome. You're most welcome
this
anytime.
narrative building, this ecosystem, it remains a cause for concern. If a terror financer is convicted, this narrative is built that the government is trying to destabilize Kashmir, when it is actually Pakistan that is trying to destabilize Kashmir.
Gaurav, this is the tragedy. My friends in Kashmir must understand that ultimately the sufferer are the people who are living in Kashmir. Not only the families of 4 Air Force officers are waiting for justice, including the families of Kashmiri Pandits who were butchered and who faced genocide. They are waiting for justice for last 32 years, more than that. And I think the whole criminal justice system, including investigation, prosecution and judiciary, owes a explanation to the victims' families.
Yes.
And apart from that, one should, my friends in Kashmir must understand, by terror funding, what was Yasin doing? He was instigating young boys to join terrorist ranks, indulge in stone pelting, as a result provoke the security forces to open fire. So many families have been
such willing stooges of Pakistan state-sponsored terror.
Yes,
it is bizarre.
So many families have lost their young boys.
Absolutely. What level of radical Islamist terror is this? I mean,
many schools and panchayat ghars were burnt.
Absolutely.
So many bridges were burnt. Look
no,
at
but
the
Ravinder Rana, there's a fair point. There's a fair point that Peer Vikar was raising. For so many years, your government and before your government, other governments. I mean, we've been a democracy. We're celebrating 75 years of India's independence. And yet Pakistan, a state sponsor of terror, a radical Islamist country, remains so relevant in Kashmir. Somewhere down the line, all governments have failed, sir.
See, our government has taken very bold decisions in Jammu and Kashmir. The abrogation of Article 370 and the extending and implementation of all the central laws. Those are now applicable in Jammu and Kashmir. It is because of abrogation of Article 370 and because of Modi government. Second thing, our government has given the clear directions to the forces. No mercy against the killers of democracy. No mercy against terrorists. Operation All Out, which is being carried out massively. All the top terror commanders have been neutralized by Jammu and Kashmir Police and Indian Army.
Sir, that is why these hybrid terrorists are coming and these hybrid terrorists are also a cause for great concern. Yeah, but you know the point that our friend from Kashmir was raising.
They have shifted, Gauravji.
Yeah, I've last 30 seconds on the broadcast, but I want to ask Mr. Vaid. Mr. Vaid, is there an apprehension that there could be violence in Jammu and Kashmir? Will this give a new lease of life? Because that cyclical violence that had stopped after action on Article 370 and more important, after the bombing of Balakot, is there an apprehension that Pakistan could use this and once again try and burn Kashmir?
See, I don't think people of Kashmir would be much concerned accepting his area of stronghold like Maisma and Koti Bagh area, and the small area, and that has been whenever we used to arrest him, that was the area where stone pelting would resort to, and there is a very minor thing that could be controlled, not an issue. But yes, Pakistan would explain, because Pakistan is co-conspirator.
Yes.
The terror funding was coming from somebody was asking, why is Pakistan so rattled? They would be rattled. He was their stooge. If money from Hafiz Sayyid and Salahuddin was coming, it is not without the consent of the deep state of Pakistan.
Okay.
So obviously, my personal view is, in fact, the DG ISI should have been the co-accused in this case.
Oh, absolutely.
It cannot happen without his consent.
Including in 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks and Pathankot and Pulwama terror strikes, because it can't happen without the active connivance of Pakistan DG ISI. I've run out of time on this part of the show, but Ravinder Rana, you know, it's your government's responsibility to ensure action against terrorists and the terror enabling ecosystem is taken to its logical conclusion.